Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jedi Mantis Tastes, the series where I try whiskies for you, give you a bit of information about them, a little bit of history about the distilleries where I can, and we go from there. This is our third episode, and we will be trying our very first Highland Whisky. So the first two episodes we tried Spearsides. This is going to be a different region, so you can see the map around here somewhere. You'll see that there's the Highland area is quite a big area. The one I've selected today is a 12-year-old from the Aberfeldy Distillery, which is home to a selection of whiskies. It's not just the Aberfeldy, there's the John Dewar and Sons. They do all the other whiskies as well, the Dewars. They can be found online. But we're trying the Aberfeldy 12-year, which is this one here. I've not tried it yet. It's going to be unsealed on camera, so you'll get my honest first impressions. But a little bit about the distillery, and I haven't been able to find out a huge amount about this distillery. I have looked and looked. It seems that a lot of the information is locked into the distillery tours. There's quite a range of tours that they offer. You can go through aberfeldy.com to look into those tours. You've got your basic tours, you've got private tours, and each different tour you get a different benefit at the end as to how and what you can try. So have a look there. The link will be down in the description here. So have a look at that, as well as other information, other websites that I've found what I could out of. And if I am honest, a fair bit of the information is going to be coming off the actual tube that the bottle comes in. I will just read that to you. But just covering the distillery, it is the Aberfeldy Distillery. Its site was chosen for its supply of good, clean water and the railway link that it has to Perth. The water is the Betilly Burn, and it is renowned for having deposits of alluvial gold within the water. It's pure, clean water, and they say that it enhances their whiskey, which we will find out when we try it. You can see there's a little bit on here about the Betilly Burn, and that does just go over that it's known to contain deposits of alluvial gold. The distillery, I guess, has been awarded 24 gold medals, including a gold in the 2005 International Wine and Spirits competition within the UK. So other information we've got that the site is chosen for its supply of good water and railway that linked it to Perth. There's a train here called the Puggy Engine, and the Puggy Engine is what they use to bring the barley into the distillery and export the whiskey out of this distillery to the market. And that train, actually, you can see that, I believe, at the distillery. It is still homed at the distillery. So I'm assuming, I've not been on the tour, but I would assume that is part of the tour, because it's quite a big part of the history of how it came to be. I will go over the little bit of information here, because there's not a huge much more I've found out other than that. I found the picture of the distillery, which you've probably seen, probably put that in by now. So just going off the tube, it says our handsome distillery, sited on the River Tay in the central Highlands of Scotland, a stone's throw from the birthplace of our founder and pioneer of blending, John Dewar. Architecture was designed by Charles Doig. The distillery rose up to begin production in 1898, so quite old. In John's bonny hometown of Aberfeldy, his family found men who knew the secrets of superb whisky. Today we still use time-honoured techniques like long fermentation to conjure rare honeyed notes and draw water from the Patilly burn, renowned for its quality and promise of gold. As from what I could find on the internet, it is still an area where people do actually still go and pan for gold. Whether there's that much found, I don't think there is anymore, but people do still go to pan the gold in Aberfeldy. So maybe if you do visit them, maybe try your hand at that. If it's not illegal, I don't know if that's illegal to go and just do that. Mellowed for 12 years in handmade oak casks, this smooth, sweet dram offers rich rewards for those who like to dig deeper. We lose a fair bit to the angels, though. Almost a third of every cask has disappeared into the ether before we're ready to bottle. Distilled and bottled in Scotland by John Dewar and Sons Limited. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much all I could find. But I will link in any website I've used down below to gain any extra information. So I think with having said that, we need our Glencairn glass, because we are about to open this bottle up. So here it is. This is the actual bottle. Let's get the light on. So it's quite a squat bottle, not as big as, say, the Glenfiddich from last time. You can see a longer, thinner bottle. This one, quite a squat bottle. It feels chunky. It feels like it's worth something. Nice colour on it. But we'll have a proper look when we get in the glass. So I'll just crack this open. And I believe it is corked. Doesn't have quite that pop, but it is corked. I keep saying nice whiskey's corked. Let's have a little drop of this. That's probably enough to taste. I'll just pop this cork back in, bear with me. And what I have done this time, I have remembered to get just a jug of water. There's a bit of ice in there. And we're just going to add just a small amount. You only want to add just a drop, just to bring the alcohol content down a little bit. Probably that'll be fine. So it's now down in alcohol content. It is, to start off with, it is 40%. 40% volume, 80% proof. So it's not overpowering. But just a little drop of water in there is going to just lower it down by about 5%. And that's just going to allow the flavours, the aromas to escape a bit easier into your palate and into your nose. I'm just going to move this light back. So we'll give this a slosh around. And as I say, with that water in, it just does slightly change that colour. It's a very sort of like golden yellow colour now. Looks a nice whiskey. I'm looking forward to giving it a little try, but we'll try the nose first. And yeah, straight away, just adding that water, it's not overpowering. So on the nose, it's quite fruity. Maybe a hint of honey in there as well. Kind of, yeah, the fruit in there, it is identified as being pineapple. And smelling again, just on the outside of the notes there, I maybe would say pineapple. Quite toasty as well. I'll have a little taste now. It's nice. It's not overpowering. That probably is down to the water being in. It's quite spicy on the aftertone. It's very pleasant. It isn't. It's not. It's not. It's not really, to be honest. It's nothing special. This is a one that I think this would be what I would class as an everyday whiskey. And what I mean by that, I don't mean you should be drinking every day. Um, but it's a one that if you just want to drink, it would be fine. This is a one you could have just to have any night. Whereas like the previous ones, I've said you would maybe have them on a special occasion. This one is a one that I would be quite happy to sit down with on an evening and just have whenever I felt like having a whiskey. So that's what I mean by an everyday whiskey. It's very, very pleasant. Smooth. It's very smooth going down. There's no there's no hint of smoke. There's no hint of peat. Um, it's quite dry. Quite dry on the once it's gone. It's quite fine. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Um, Not a taste sensation. I'm going to try a little drop without the water to see if I can find anything else from that. So we've got a little bit more, maybe a bit too much in there, but never mind. It's Sunday. That's when I'm recording this. So let's have another nose. Yeah, a lot sort of stronger smelling it without the water, as you would expect. Almost floral. It's not a regular honey smell. That it's quite nice. And again, still not overpowering, even though there's no water in it this time. So let's have a try. Well, that's very different. Very different without the water. It's quite syrupy, quite thick. Um, nicer without water for drinking. The water does help with tasting, but for actual drinking, I would have it like that. But yeah, on its own, very full flavoured. A lot fuller flavour to it. Again, not unpleasant. Very pleasant, in fact. Nice whiskey. One that, as I say, this is a perfect whiskey to just have in the house. It's not expensive. Currently, is on offer in Tesco. £25 for the bottle. So it's a 70 centilitre bottle, or 700 millilitres, however you want to measure it, which is not ridiculous price for a nice whiskey that you wouldn't mind drinking through this one. Something like the Glenfiddich we tried the other day, or the Glendronach we will try in the future. That is a one that you only want to have occasionally. It's not something you would feel bad for drinking it. You enjoy the taste, but you'd feel bad. This one, this could be as sort of like a replacement for something like a famous grouse, which is a blended whiskey. That again, sort of like probably the everyday whiskey of choice for me, because it is cheaper. It's cheaper than the £25 even, but this, for the price, you're getting that stronger flavour than the blend, and it's well worth that price. So I'll drop the link to Tesco's page in there as well. As I said, their promotions do change, so don't necessarily expect if you're watching this in the future that it will still be on offer. But at the moment, it's £10 off. So it's normally £35. It's £25. It's on that sort of price range on a multiple set of websites. We've got the Whisky Exchange, the Masters of Malt. They'll all be linked in the description down below. So yeah, this is first time I'm trying this. It's very, very pleasant. Not offensive. Not offensive at all. And not strong. That is, even at 40%, there's the very mildest of burns on the top of the tongue. But it's not an offensive burn. Let's put this glass down. It's not offensive. It's a very warming, quite pleasant tingle on the top of the tongue. So if you don't like a whiskey that's too strong, or you don't want to start with something too strong, I would very much recommend the Aberfeldy 12-year-old. It's a very affordable, a fine whiskey to be enjoyed at any occasion. That's how I would say that one is. A whiskey to be enjoyed whenever you want. So that is pretty much it for today. A nice whiskey. So yeah, try that one out. Aberfeldy Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, guaranteed 12 years in oak. So it's guaranteeing that it's been maturing for 12 years. I guess there's some out there that there's maybe some sort of loophole that they can say it's matured for a certain amount of time, but it's not quite reaching that time. So that was Aberfeldy. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've found that one a little bit informative. Maybe piqued your interest into trying something new. You can see I'm wearing a Christmas sweater today. This obviously coming out Friday. I'm going to have a Christmas holiday from my YouTube, so I will be back in the new year. So there's not going to be any content out next week. But I hope you all have a very good Christmas or holiday period, whatever you do, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good time. Thank you for joining me. It's been fun this week. Brand new whiskey for me, and one that I've quite enjoyed. So thank you for joining. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed the video, and hit the subscribe so that you make sure that you get the next whiskey tasting video when it comes out in the new year. Quite possibly I've got 2 more whiskies that I've not even opened yet, so keep an eye out. We'll probably go for them. We've got coming up an Ardmore, and we've got the Bowmore. We've also got the Glendronach to sample as well. And there's the American whiskey I've got. So there's a few more to come on a weekly basis, although we are skipping a week for Christmas. So keep an eye out. Join me next time. Thanks a lot, guys. Happy Christmas. Have a good New Year's Eve as well. If you're going out drinking, drink responsibly. And I will see you in the new year. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers. Have fun.